Medicare for all would abolish private insurance. There's no precedent in American history.
Have you ever wondered why the US in the 50s and 60s, why it never set up a system of universal healthcare all kind of cobbled together? And if we haven't met, hi, my name is Sarah. I'm a health economist. I'm getting my PhD in economics, and I have the answer for you. First of all, it's important to note that there wasn't really a need for health insurance until the mid 1900s, mostly because there wasn't even a whole lot of healthcare to buy. Because there wasn't a whole lot of healthcare to buy, there wasn't really an incentive for people to purchase health insurance until that is World War II. Because in 1942, with a bunch of Americans being drafted off to fight the war, we were facing a severe labor shortage. And what was happening is a bunch of businesses were raising their salaries to the point where it could spur a lot of inflation. So what did economists and President Roosevelt do? Well, they issued Executive Order 9250, which established the Office of Economic Stabilization. And this did a lot of things, but it primarily froze wages, which meant that businesses could not attract workers with higher wages. So what did they do? They started offering more generous benefits, including health insurance, and it kept building because in 1943, the Internal Revenue Service decided that employer-sponsored healthcare should be exempt from taxation, which meant that for most Americans, getting health insurance through their employer was cheaper than going out and getting it themselves. So you have all of these jobs providing health insurance at a very cheap rate because they're not taxed on. And so you might be asking yourself, okay, that's great, but then why do all these other countries have universal sponsored health? And quick caveat here, a lot of people want to group all of these universal plans together into this one monolith. There's actually a lot of differences between universal health plans of different countries, which I'm happy to talk about. But Europe and parts of Asia were in economic ruin, but the US, it was a totally different story. And so while President Harry Truman supported the idea of a national healthcare system in 1945, and it attracted a fair amount of public support, a lot of special interest groups, the Chamber of Commerce, as well as unions did not support this idea. And we've just kind of stuck it out since then. With some exceptions, we have Medicare and Medicaid, which was passed in the mid-1960s. But we've kind of just been living in this system that was cobbled together in World War II. That we haven't really given a second thought to of maybe we need to amend this system for the modern era. If you have any questions, let me know.